Hey, it's Ethan Skolnick out here at Dolphins camp in Miami Gardens, Baptist Training Complex with Alfredo Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry. You can catch his training reports every single day on the 3 Yards Per Carry feed. So we're going to go through a few things today. 4 players spoke to the media after the first full practice, morning practice. They started inside because there was a threat of lightning. Then they went outside. Let's get to the comments afterwards, though, from Tua, because I think that's what most people are going to be talking about. There were 2 comments he made that I think will get the most attention. The one was about needing to slide more often, and that availability is the most important concern for him, and he talked about being selfless versus selfish. And then also his comments about Tyreek Hill, about how Tyreek needed to sort of earn trust back, not just from him, but from everybody, but he's been more vulnerable, and yet it's a work in progress. What did you take about those 2 things?
Well, I think he's very diplomatic in how he spoke about Tyreek. He didn't want to essentially say what was probably on his mind, which is he has to earn the trust of the players once again. Tyreek spoke about that yesterday, that he had to re-earn the trust of the players, but, talk is always cheap. So I think the most instructive moment will come about 4 weeks from now when they select captains to see if that C is on Tyreek Hill's chest. It's been there for 3 years here. It was there for 2 years in Kansas City. So I guess that will be the ultimate test.
Do you trust Tua when he says that in the moment he will slide?
Well, we've had a sample size of, 3 seasons? And we're like 1 for 3. So the hope is that we go 2 for 4. And if they go 2 for 4, then they'll have a chance to go 3 for 5.
Yeah.
If not, then I don't want to say that the end is near.
Right.
But they got to start thinking about it if he actually does take another injury this year, because the problem has never been his skill or his play. He's been a good player for them. He's been a good quarterback for them. But you're only as good as your availability as the quarterback of an NFL football team. If you miss 6 games and you miss the playoffs because you missed 6 games, that's kind of on you.
Let's focus on just one area of the team today. Cater Kohu spoke to the media afterwards, and he mentioned Cam Smith specifically, or was asked about Cam Smith, and said that knowing Cam well, that he felt that Cam was going to put it together. I think Cam had, I don't know if there was a strip at the end of practice or towards the middle of practice. He ended up running it back. The cornerback room, and we'll close it here, are you as concerned as everybody else seems to be?
Well, help is supposedly on the way, but I was speaking to Kyle Krabs of Locked On Dolphins earlier today, and we were wondering why Rasul Douglas hasn't signed yet.
Yeah.
And I think it has something to do with his salary last year compared to what his salary would be this year. And I think he's probably contemplating, am I really taking an 80% pay cut to start this year? And maybe it's one of those things where it's a veteran that's just going to take his time, because it is training camp. He is, I believe, an 8-year vet. So maybe he's thinking, you know what, I'm not going to be here for most of this if I am going to take what is essentially is going to be like an 80% pay cut, because I don't think, if you look at the team's salary cap situation, they're not offering much more than what is maybe $2 million a year. Mm-hmm. So, they got Daniel Brunskill for what should be a pretty good deal. I don't think that they've released that yet. I think they're trying to do the same for Rasul Douglas. I think that's who they want. That's who they want to bring in. And if they bring him in, it's a start.
I know people are waiting to hear from Minkah Fitzpatrick now that he's back with the Dolphins, but we were told he will speak at some point in the next few days. Doesn't seem in a real hurry to address the media at this point, but we'll hear from Fitzpatrick going forward. For Alfredo Arteaga, again, catch his reports on the 3 Yards Per Carry podcast feed. I'm Ethan Skolnick. We'll be back out at Dolphins camp tomorrow.